What's going on YouTube? I'm your host Joss and welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around until the end of this video to join me as I do some comment shoutouts. If you like what we do, make sure you follow the BTS team on social media. All of our links are down in the description below. As for today's list, it's kind of a more serious list if I'm being honest. Over the years, we have lost some of our favorite actors due to illness, tragedy, or accidents, and although it's not fun to speak on their death, it is special to keep their memory alive and pay tribute to them. On that note, let's jump into today's list of top 10 actors gone too soon. Starting off our list at number 10 is Brittany Murphy. The actress had a breakthrough in her career with her role in Clueless and then continued to win over hearts in other movies like Uptown Girls, 8 Mile, and Girl Interrupted. Fans were saddened to hear the news back in 2009 that the bubbly actress was found dead in her Los Angeles home. At 8 a.m. on December 20th, 2009, the LA Fire Department responded to a medical request after it was reported that she had apparently collapsed in her bathroom. Firefighters tried to resuscitate her on the scene and she had to be transported to a hospital when they were unable to do so. Once she was at the hospital, she died at 10:04 a.m. after going into cardiac arrest. A few months later, rumors began to spread saying that she had overdosed after the coroner released a report saying that she had been taking a variety of over-the-counter and prescription medications. However, all the drugs were legal and her death was ruled to be an accident. She was only 32 years old at the time of her death, but fans always remember her as being very young at heart. At number 9 is CORY Monteith. He is famously known for playing Finn Hudson on the hit TV series Glee and also for being boyfriend to Lea Michele. They met each other on the set of Glee in 2008 when they were cast to play each other's love interests. They remained together as a real-life couple until he passed away just a year and a half later. The 31-year-old actor passed away on July 13, 2013 when he was found dead in his room at the Fairmont Hotel in Vancouver. He was scheduled to check out that day, but when he didn't, hotel staff entered his room and discovered his body. His autopsy was later released and stated that he died from a mix of heroin and alcohol and that his death appeared to be accidental. After his death, production postponed Glee's 5th season and later continued it months down the road. On October 10, 2013, the show aired an episode as a tribute to CORY which focused on the death of his character. That way they could continue to talk about his character in his memory in future episodes and seasons. Next up at number 8 is Luke Perry. He was first known for starring on the TV series Beverly Hills 90210 and more recently for starring on the CW series Riverdale. Fans fell in love with him for playing Archie's father on the series and were stunned when it was announced just a few months ago that the actor had suffered from a sudden stroke. He remained in the hospital for 5 days until March 4th, 2019 when it was announced that he had actually passed away. His rep made a statement saying that he was surrounded by all of his friends and family when he passed away peacefully. His Riverdale co-stars and fans were devastated and took it to social media to post tons of tributes in his memory. The show has continued on since without the actor, but all new episodes of the series are all dedicated to him. Sliding into number 7 is MARILYN MONROE. She was a triple threat during the 60s, taking on acting, modeling, and singing, most known for playing the blonde bombshell type characters. She was known to be one of the most popular sex symbols at the time and was an icon when it came to the era's change in attitude towards sexuality. She was one of the highest paid actors at the time of her unexpected death back in 1962. One Saturday evening on August 4th, 1962, MARILYN was in her Los Angeles home with her housekeeper Eunice Murray. Murray says she woke up around 3 a.m. and just sensed something was wrong, so she went to check on MARILYN, who was in her bedroom but the light was still on. She claims the door was locked, so she called MARILYN's psychiatrist, who ended up breaking into the room through a window and found her deceased in her bed. A doctor arrived at her house around 3:50 a.m. and pronounced her dead at the scene at only 36 years old. Although her death was many years ago, she is still considered to be an icon in this industry. People still love to dress up as her on Halloween. And to be honest, if I had blonde hair, I probably would have done that by now. I'm just too cheap to buy a wig. Taking over the number 6 spot is James Dean, another legend from a different decade who has gone way too soon. He was an American actor from Indiana and is remembered as a cultural icon and total teen heartthrob. People will never forget when he played the troubled teenager Jim Stark in the movie Rebel Without a Cause. He was known to be a free-spirited amateur race car driver, so when filming his final movie Giant, he was actually banned from driving in any races until it was completed. However, as soon as the movie wrapped, he was already signed up for multiple different competitions all throughout California. However, while driving to one of the competitions, he and his mechanic got into a head-on collision with a vehicle much larger than his. His mechanic was actually thrown from the car and the actor was trapped inside and suffered from fatal injuries, one being a broken neck. Dean was pronounced dead on arrival shortly after he arrived to the hospital by ambulance. The actor was only 24 years old. He is still an international icon though. I mean, people are still referencing him in songs over a decade later. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Anton Yelchin, the Russian-born actor who started his career at the young age of 12 years old. His first roles were in Along Came a Spider and Hearts in Atlantis, and then he went on to appear in some smaller TV roles. He received his big break though in Steven Spielberg's 2002 alien abduction miniseries called Taken. Things just took off from there and he started to book major roles, one of them being in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot. The child star grew up to be at the peak of his career when he suddenly died at the age of 27 years old. His death has been called a total freak accident. On June 19, 2016, Anton was found pinned between his Jeep Grand Cherokee and a brick pillar outside of his house in California. As he got out of the car, the vehicle apparently rolled back down his driveway, which was on a steep incline, and trapped him against the pillar and a security fence. He died later that day from the injuries from the accident. Following his death, the producers of Star Trek stated that his role would not be recast and that his character would be written out of any future Star Trek films. Here we are at number 4 with Paul Walker. He was admired for pretty much all of his work, but mostly for his role as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious franchise. Fans were getting excited for the 7th film of the series, which Paul was still filming when he suddenly passed away. On November 30th, 2013, at about 3:30 p.m., he died at age 38 in a horrific car accident with his friend Roger Radis. The car that they were driving crashed into a concrete post as well as 2 trees, and it just burst into flames. It was reported that both of their bodies were burned beyond recognition. No alcohol or drugs were found in either man's systems. It was just truly an accident, and reports say the age of the car's tires were the primary reason for the crash. Rather than canceling the Fast and Furious film, which still needed Paul Walker to complete some scenes, his 2 brothers Caleb and Cody stepped in as body doubles and stand-ins. They also used CGI to fill in the gaps as well. The movie was officially released in April 2015, where the Furious family and fans could see him and celebrate his memory one last time. Alright guys, at number 3 is Heath Ledger, known for many roles but mostly for his iconic role as the Joker in The Dark Knight. He died on January 22, 2008 due to an accidental intoxication from prescription drugs. Around 3 p.m. he was found unconscious in his bed by his housekeeper and his masseuse in Manhattan. According to the police, one of them arrived early for a 3 p.m. appointment and called his friend Mary-Kate Olsen for help when she found him. Olsen was in California at the time and directed a New York City private security guard to go to the scene and also called 911 in the meantime. According to the 911 operator, she performed CPR but she was unable to revive him. He had been prescribed pills for insomnia, anxiety, pain, and common cold symptoms, and the autopsy reports claim he did not intend on dying when taking the mix of those medications. He had finished filming for The Dark Knight just a few months before he died at the young age of 28. Ledger won a number of awards for his role of the Joker even after his passing, all of which he very much deserved. At number 2 is Robin Williams. The world got a little less funny back in August 2014 when the hilarious actor died at the age of 63. We got many years with the talented comedian, but all of his fans would agree that we just still were not ready to say goodbye just yet. For someone who was always smiling and cracking jokes, things were a lot harder for him than anyone could have imagined. Apparently he struggled with depression for years and ended up taking his own life in his California home. The final autopsy report was released in November 2014 and concluded that he died of asphyxia due to hanging. They also found wounds to his hands and arms, which was most likely used by the pocket knife which was lying nearby when he was found. It was reported that the actor was suffering from an increase in paranoia after they did an examination of his brain tissue. Since his passing, he has received many tributes, including a memorable one from the then President Barack Obama, where he basically said it all perfectly. He said, "Robin Williams was an airman, a doctor, a genie, a nanny, a president, a professor, and everything in between. But he was one of a kind. He ended up touching every element of the human spirit. He made us laugh, he made us cry. He gave his immeasurable talent freely and generously to those who needed it most. No one could have said it better than that." Taking the number 1 spot on our list is Cameron Boyce. He grew up starring on Disney Channel's comedy series Jessie, where he won over hearts playing the character Luke Ross. He also starred in movies like Grown Ups and The Descendants. The world was recently flipped upside down by finding out that the 20-year-old actor had passed away suddenly due to an epileptic seizure. His family released a statement on July 6, 2019 saying that he died in his sleep at his home in Los Angeles due to a seizure which was a result of an ongoing medical condition which he was being treated for. They shared that he was recently diagnosed with epilepsy. His movie Descendants was set to premiere just a few weeks later on July 22nd, but Disney decided to cancel the red carpet premiere event and honor him in a different way. With permission from his family, Disney Channel announced that they would dedicate the telecast of Descendants 3 in his memory. They also made a donation in his name to the Thirst Project, which is a non-profit organization Cameron was heavily involved in that provides communities with safe drinking water. His co-star from Grown Ups, Adam Sandler, urges fans to support causes that Cameron was committed to. Alright guys, there's our list for today. Let me know all of your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below, and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. For now, I'm going to end this video by responding to some of your comments from some of my other videos. Amanda Milbrot says, Monique should stop complaining. $500,000 is a lot more than millions or billions of people will see in their whole lives. Yeah. I agree. Like, imagine being offered $500,000 to do what you love to do. Like, come on. Jan Hall says, I heard Kirk Cameron has given up show business and is now a full-time evangelist. Yeah, apparently he's just all about his faith now. Boa Boy says, Jocelyn, you are not allowed to come in until you do the truffle shuffle. Well, that is not happening, so I will stay right here. Clay Tallman says, love hearing Jocelyn talk about watching movies from the 80s or about 10 years before she was born. Hey, some of them aren't that far off. I am a 92 baby. Alright guys, we are at the end here. That is all I have for you. Make sure you like and subscribe before you go. If you want to keep watching more Beyond the Screen videos, just click the icon on your screen. It will appear right over here as soon as I stop talking. On that note, I'm your host Joss, and I will see you next time.